Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, oh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You want to go on the microphone? Sit here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Gaura Premanandi.
Jai Shri Shri Kishore Kishore Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Sita Ram Lakshmana Mahotsav Ki Gaur Premanande Ki Bajaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati ga shobha Iva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandi Arati ga shobha Iva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandi Harati Gashobha Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandi Harati Gashobha Janavi Tatamani Yagamanalabana Ibadakini Dai Chandva Megadadada Anikate Advaita Srini Asa Chakradhara Viva Boshe Ache Gaurachan Ratna Sivasane Harati kore na Brahma Adi Deva Gane Ibanaradi Adi Kari Chamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Koshadikaya Iva Shankar Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Iva Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ojala Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ojala Gala Dese Bana Mala Kore Janamala Shiva Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gadada Narada Bhagati Vinoda Dekhi Gaurara Sampada O Bhagati Vinoda Dekhi Gaurara Sampada Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Dasharatha Nandana Raja Ram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Dasharatha Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Dasharatha Nandana Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram Sitaram Dasharatha Nandana Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram Pavana Sitaram Janaki Jivana Raja Ram Patita 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 Pavana Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram पतित पावन सीताराम पावन सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम बोलो सीताराम 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 जय सीता सीताराम 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 जय सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम पतित पावन सीताराम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Bolo Goranga Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hey Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whoa! Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ranga. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hello. Hello. Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Gauranga, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Urango. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Varadeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. Jaya Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Ni Dai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nidai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Oh, Nidai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Oh, Haribo, 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 Haribo. Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nidai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवचर सुजन के सही श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवचर सुजन के भक्ति सिद्धांत प्रभुपाद महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णविंद की नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तविंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धाम की मायापुर धाम की मथुरा धाम की अयोध्यापुरी धाम की वृंदावन धाम की द्वारका धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की श्री श्री किशोर किशोरी की श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ जी बलदेव सुभद्रा देवी की श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की रामनवमी फेस्टिवल की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी और ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. On behalf of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we welcome you all to the RamaNavami Festival. Thank you so much for coming. We have a very exciting program lined up for you. Before we start, we have a few announcements. The festivities don't stop here. We also have another RamaNavami festival happening in the suburbs on April 15th. The posters are out there. Please come there. It's a special performance. It's a musical description of marriage of Lord Ram and Sita. So it will be very interesting. Please do make your way there. We also have the flyers out there. You can look at more information there. Also, we have our Vamsi group here. They are going to do a special bhajan for today. Usually, they have been performing in the temple from 2014. They have performed very nice and difficult bhajans like Dashavatar Sotra, Madhura Ashtakam, Nanda Sutta Ashtakam, and many more. For the first time today, they will be performing Hindustani classical rag, and the rag name is Rag Bhopali. First, they will be singing Saregama, that is the Sargam, and then a small bhajan, which is in in the Vrindavan language, followed by some kirtan. They will show how we can use the rag in bhajan and kirtan. So it is first time. So we please encourage them. So, okay, they'll sing the Narasimha Arti first. So and then they will sing this. And sorry, after that we'll have a small talk till 7:30. Wait for 5 minutes. There is a small presentation after that about the 30th anniversary, 50th anniversary of Sri Sri Kishore Kishori Temple. Then we'll have prasadam at 7:30. Big Haribol! Haribol! These wonderful kids, they put a lot of practice every Sunday. They come like 1 hour before the program starts. And their teacher, Radhakun Mataji, puts a lot of effort behind these kids. And you can see the result. So thank you so much, Mataji. So, Hare Krishna. So the next part of our program will be our Subal Prabhu. He will be talking about RamaNavami Festival. So we'll welcome him with big and loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol! So everybody, please, if you can come a little closer from that side, so people can take darshan while they go from there. They don't have to step over you. So if you can come a little closer, put your phones on silent. If you have kids, they can go down. Um, thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, happy Ranomi, everybody. So, I'm a little under the weather, so my voice, I lost it a little bit. And because we have such a short time, I'm just going to launch into the class right away. Hopefully, this can come again. Our, is it coming? Takes a little time. Well, we're celebrating the appearing days of Lord Ramachandra. And it's actually, this is very wonderful to have this gathering here, especially on a Thursday. And you can see how beloved Lord Ramachandra is to those of us who actually worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the Vedic tradition. Maybe we can turn off these lights too. Or see how it looks and see. So, Lord Ramachandra is considered one of the most famous of the many, many multiple avatars of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How many of you are familiar with this? Of course, I see faces that I'm, good friends with, but we talk about the Dasa avatar. The Dasa avatar is a list of the most popular avatars of the Lord, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we have them there over there in our temple. So we have it starting with Matsya, right? Starting right here, from the left to the, no, for the right to the left. So Matsya, Matsya Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vamana, Parasuram, Ramachandra, Krishna and Balaram, Buddha, and Kalki. These are the Dasa avatar, the 10 avatars, popular avatars. So I want to start by understanding this term avatar. How many of you are familiar with this term avatar? Yes. So it's a very important, in fact, uh, when Lord Chaitanya met Srila Sanatana Goswami, he spent so much time explaining this concept of avatar. It's very important for us, and it's very deep, and it's also very technical, because it's the Supreme Personality's arrangement to monitor and to come to this material world to establish his purposes. We know in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna established the purpose for him when he descends into this world, which is the overall, what we can say is the um, is the overarching mission and purpose of the personality of Godhead when he comes into the material world. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharati bharata. Bhavati bharata. So he comes to establish the principles of religion. When there is adharmasya, when the principles of religions become the decline, then the Lord comes to reestablish. And then, along with that, he said that he will give pleasure to the devotees. What is it? Parin, Paritranaya sadunam. I'm sorry, I'm a little foggy with. Paritranaya sadunam vinashaya chaduskritam. That he will banish all those who are duskritas or demoniac in mind. And he will give pleasure to those who are pious, the devotees. So it's very important to understand this concept of avatar before we speak about the Rama avatar, the descent of Lord Ramachandra into this world and what is his purpose. So when we talk about avatar, obviously we're going to speak about the Rama avatar. What is an avatar? So popular culture tell us that there is these blue creatures from some distant planet that humans find out a way to enter into their bodies. So it's more or less that you take a body that is part of a foreign environment, and through that body you can act into that environment. So that's what people right now immediately when you see Avatar, oh yeah, yes, I know about Avatar. I saw the movie like that. But no, 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 no. That's not correct. That's not part of the understanding of Avatar. So, what do we understand about Avatar? Avatar is defined as the descent of the personality of Godhead into this material world. So, it's related to Krishna, the personality of Godhead, through his many, many different expansions according to a particular type of purpose and circumstances that he comes and descends in a particular form or in a particular way. So it's basically the personality of Godhead descending into this world. Sometimes we hear or we use the word incarnation, which is more or less to give us the sense of what it means. It means, that the Lord enters into this world. So when we enter into this world, we take these bodies. And the word incarnation comes from the Latin term carne, which means flesh. So you enter into a flesh, into material body. But that's not the case with the Lord. We know from the philosophy that the Lord doesn't take a material body. His body is transcendental. He said he comes in his own transcendental body, Srijami Aham. So the term incarnation is not something to be taken literally, but it's something to give us an understanding that the Lord comes into this world. So we're going to discuss a little bit the definition that Lord Chaitanya gave to Srila Sanatana Goswami. So we got that clear. he says that the expansions of the Lord who comes into the material world are called avatars. So please pay attention and take note of these expansions of the Lord, because it's something that is important to understand when the Lord comes into the world. Because we know that there is so many. Just we're talking about 10, but we know in the Bhagavatam, we're going to hear about it a little bit, that there are some limited manifestations of the Lord. So when he comes into the material world, that's an avatar. That's the term avatar. So the word avatar means one who descends. It's the Sanskrit. It's from the Sanskrit word avatarini, avatarati, avatarati. So ones who descend. And in this case, the word specifically referred to one who descends from the spiritual world. So is Krishna coming from the spiritual world, or Krishna or his expansions coming from the spiritual world? And then in the spiritual skies, there's innumerable Vaikuntha planets. We hear about that the whole cosmic creation, this material world is only a quarter of the whole cosmic creation. The rest is a spiritual world. And there are unlimited Vaikuntha planets. And in all these Vaikuntha planets, there's an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when one of these expansions comes into the material world, it's an avatar. So in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the great sages of the world decide to come together to counteract the effects of Kali Yuga in humankind. They could see and they could perceive how Kali Yuga will affect the quality and the quality of life and the quality of character of the people of the world. And they wanted to counteract that by a great sacrifice. And in that great sacrifice, they recognize as the leader one great sage whose name was Sutta Goswami. And they asked Sutta Goswami many questions. Sutta Goswami was present during the time that Sukadev Goswami, the great personalities who first recited the stories of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in which exclusively pure devotion to Krishna was to be propounded as per Vyasadeva, following the instructions of the great sage, his spiritual master, Narada Muni. Sutta Goswami was present at that time, and he heard the Bhagavatam. And then the sages of Naimisharanya asked him, please tell us. And what did they ask? They asked many questions. They asked 6 questions, but among them, they wanted to know about these incarnations of the Lord, these avatars. They wanted to know, to please explain the teachings of the previous masters and acharyas, spiritual master, because if we hear about these activities of the Lord, we can be uplifted. And not only us, but the whole world could be uplifted. So please tell us about these wonderful pastimes and adventures of the Lord. He said, who is there who is desiring liberation from the vices of this age, who is not willing to hear the virtuous activities and pastimes of the personality of Godhead? He said the transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious. They're so beautiful, so attractive when we come in contact with them. We can hear them. Most of you come every single year. And most of you hear, and to the different celebrations of the appearance of the Lord in his different manifestations. We hear every year and we never tire. is always a source of upliftment. It's always a source of inspiration in our devotion. So please, therefore, speak to us. We're eager to hear about the adventures he performed in his various incarnations. We want to hear. Do you want to hear? Of course. That's why you're here. It's Thursday. Tomorrow you have to work. But you're here because you want to hear. You want to glorify the Lord. The sages like that were very enthusiastic. He said, "Oh, wise Sutta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead multi-incarnations, such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by his internal powers." We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships with him relish hearing his pastimes at every moment. So the sages were so eager. And Sutta Goswami didn't disappoint them. He started to narrate these wonderful, wonderful pastimes through the narrations of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he started to explain all the different incarnations of the Lord, the different avatars. So he goes on to tell so many of them, about close to 30 altogether. When you look at the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, third chapter, he started to answer the question that, please tell us about, we want to hear about the incarnations of the Lord. Tell us about it. So he started to tell one by one, just a little sutra, just to give an introduction. It's almost like, giving you an introduction for what it is. But he then say to them that, "Oh Brahmana, the incarnations of the Lord are innumerable. It's like the rivulets of the flowing waters of of a river. So it's going and going and going, inexhaustible. Sometimes also is compared to the waves in the ocean. You sit by the ocean, okay, tell me how many waves are there. They keep coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming forever. The Lord's avatars, the Lord's incarnations is like that. So I'm just speaking, Sutta Goswami said, I'm just speaking about the most known of these avatars of the Lord. But then he says something that is very important. And throughout all the 18,000 verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse that he spoke after saying this about the rivulets is considered the Paribhasa Sutra. What is Paribhasa Sutra means? It is the verse that defines the whole Bhagavatam. So it's considered that when you're going to explain what is this Bhagavatam and what is the purpose of the Bhagavatam, then this verse will give you the understanding, the proper understanding. And it's important because the Bhagavatam is considered the cream or the mature fruit of the tree of the Vedas. And the Vedas are very vast. And the Vedas tell us about the reality of the whole cosmic manifestation for different levels. So we can find that there is a reality that is being addressed in the Srimad Bhagavatam for a particular level here, for a level here. And then, so it can be very confusing because it's very vast. So the Bhagavatam now being the cream of the Vedas, the mature fruit, then of that mature fruit, then this is the verse that defines that Bhagavatam. And the verse is in the 3rd chapter, text number 28. Ete chamsa kalapunsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Srila Sutta Goswami says that all of the above mentioned incarnation, so all the ones that he already told the sages, are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. So these define everything. This is the highest truth. When Srila Vyasadeva presented the Bhagavatam, the starting of the Bhagavatam, and this was after Narada Muni instruct him the reason you feel incomplete, and this is after he compiled the whole Vedas. He was feeling unfulfilled. He was feeling, I'm not achieving my goal. I don't feel it right. And Narada told him that you haven't directly glorified the personality of Godhead. And therefore, you must compile a scripture that exclusively talks about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is this. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Swayam means the original personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna. Vyasadeva starts the Bhagavatam then with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Param Satyam Dimahi. He declares, I meditate upon him because he is the absolute truth. He is the source of everything. Jammadyasi Jatombayat. So, this verse defines that it is Krishna, the avatari, the source of all incarnation. That this is very important to know because many of you are from India and it is commonly understood that the avatars are the avatars of Lord Vishnu. And among the avatars is Krishna. So it is explained that Krishna is an avatar of Lord Vishnu. Is that right? How many of you have heard that before? Raise your hand. It's common. It's common. But the Bhagavatam establishes that no, Krishna is an avatar because Krishna himself, he makes the arrangement. He, the source of all, comes into this material world also. And because he comes into the material world, he's an avatar. Remember the definition is when the Lord descends into the material world. But it is he, the source of all avatars, the avatari. So that being established, well, also, just to rub the point, Lord Brahma also, after his mature realization, after his full meditation, he have a perfect picture of the spiritual world. And that perfect picture and realization, it is expressed in the prayers that he offered in the Brahma Samhita. And in the Brahma Samhitas, he also uses this word kala. Ramadi murtishu kala niyamena tishtam. So this word kala, and he mentions Lord Ram here. So, nana avataram akaro bhubaneshu kintu, that he comes into this world in so many innumerable avatars. through his expansions, like Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimha. And I worship that Govinda, who is the source of all, of everything. He is the original personality of Godhead. Adi Purusham, the original controller. So, Krishna, Lord Ram, is an avatar of Lord Krishna. So now, remember what the sages asked, we want to glorify, because by glorifying the Lord, we become uplifted. We want to hear. We want to hear the glorifications of the Lord. So how you glorify the Lord, the scriptures tell us that you have to absorb yourself in these four things: Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Lila. So Nama, they're supposed to go last. Okay. Nama is the name of the Lord. Rupa is the beautiful form of the Lord. Guna is his qualities, his character, his beautiful qualities. And Lila is his activities when he came. So we're going to absorb ourselves in the next 15 minutes. No, even less than that. Time is short. We're going to absorb ourselves a little bit into the Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Lila of Lord Ramachandra. The scriptures tell us that all of these elements are equally transcendental and equally powerful, and they are non-different than the Lord himself. So simply by absorbing yourself on any combination of these four aspects will give you purification and will bring you to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Nama, the name of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya tells us that the name of the Lord is no different than the Lord. Nanan Akari Badhuda Niya Sarva Shakti. Lord Chaitanya says, oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda, in this case, Rama. In these holy names, you have invested all your transcendental potencies. There are no hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, although you're so kind to make yourself available so easily by the chanting of the holy names, I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. So, Sarva Shakti, all the potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are invested in His holy name. So, His holy name is not different than the Lord. And this is in the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra is beautifully explained in this story of Narada Muni and the thief, the dacoit, Ratnakar. In short, because we don't have much time, but there was this vicious thief that would attack every pilgrim that passed through the forest. And in this occasion, Narada was walking through the forest chanting the names of Radhika Ramana in his Bina. And Ratnakar sees and he launches towards Narada and threatened him. Give me all you have or I will kill you. Narada, peacefully and with so much compassion, looks at Ratnakar and say, why would you like to do that? And Ratnakar say, I will kill you because I need your riches. because that's the means to maintain my wife and children. Narada asked him, but my dear one, I can see that you're doing all these sinful activities for the sake of them. But have you asked them if they will share the results of those sinful activities with you? And he goes, huh? I never thought about that. I wonder. No, I'm sure they will accept because they love me and they're very grateful because I'm very dutifully providing for them. I'm sure they will share. And then Ragnakara said, well, go and ask them. Narada Muni said, I say, for sure. Just wait in there. No, don't worry. I'll wait here for you. I will give you whatever I have, my bina and my, my little pot or something like that, my chanting beads. Uh, so Ragnakar went, he asked the family, and of course the family say, what? No. So making the story short and less, dramatic, they declined. And Ragnakar was crestfallen. They, they, they taking advantage of me. So, and here I am doing all these things that is going to take me right to hell for people that are not necessarily grateful. So then he went back to Narada and say, they say no. And Narada say, well, you have to be accountable for your sinful acts. And he say, how can I become free from all this? And he say, you must give up these activities, sinful activities, and chant the name of Lord Ram. And then Ragnakar say, yes, yes, I will do. And then he gave him the name and he sat down and he tried so hard, but he couldn't. He was so sinful, so covered that he couldn't sing the name of Ram. He, I can't. He couldn't. But Narada is very clever. Narada say, don't worry. Just chant this. Chant Mara. Mara means death. So you've been involved in so much murders and things like that. Yeah, okay. Mara I can do. Mara, 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 Rama, 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 Rama. He ended chanting Rama, Rama, Rama. Like that. Chanting, so following the instruction of his spiritual master, he became Valmiki Muni in his next life. And as Valmiki Muni, he was the compiler and the narrator, the one who gave the world the pastimes of the Lord through the Ramayana. So the power of the holy name, we cannot conceive. So beautifully, beautifully exemplified. Lord Shiva tells Parvati, this is described in the Padma Purana. Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramana Varanamani. He says, O delight of my heart, O beautiful faced lady, I myself constantly enjoy the supreme bliss of chanting the divine name of my beloved as Sri Ram, which is equal to reciting 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, Sriman Narayan. So the name of Lord Ram is very, very powerful. Very powerful. And thus Ratnakar was able to elevate himself. We can too. Now, because of time, I'm going to pile this. Rupa, Guna, and Lila. And then, this is beautifully explained in a chapter of the Bhagavatam in the 5th canto. in which the description of the prayers of Hanuman, the greatest devotee of Lord Ram, he's constantly chanting the prayers, these prayers of the Lord, in which he described very much he's absorbed himself in all these four, Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Lila. But I'm going to take for his prayers, something that he uses to describe the form, the character or the qualities, and the pastimes of the Lord Ramachandra. Srila Sukadeva Goswami says, this is the 5th canto, chapter 19, when Sukadeva Goswami is describing Jambadweep. Jambadweep is this earthly region. And in this earthly region, in the whole universal scheme, there is different types of, there is different, how you say, um, um, like in the comic books, they talk about these multiverses, right? That there is different, what's the word that you use? Huh? Dimensions. Thank you. There's different dimensions. And according to your level of consciousness, you can go to different dimensions in this earthly region. It is described like that. And there is the particular dimension that is taught in this chapter that is called the region called Kim Purusha Varsha, or the land of Kim Purusha. And in this place, this land of Kim Purusha, what was the word that you said? Dimension. In this dimension, then Hanuman, nice to see you. Hanuman and Chan he stays there and he's constantly engaged in this glorification of Lord Ram. So Sukadeva Goswami say, my dear Kim, in Kim Purusha Varsha, the great devotee Hanuman is always engaged with the inhabitants of that land in devotional service to Lord Ramachandra, the elder brother of Lakshman and the dear husband of Sita Devi. A host of Gandharvas are always engaged in chanting the glories of Lord Ramachandra. That chanting is always extremely auspicious. Hanumanji and Artisena, the chief person in Kim Purusha Varsha, constantly hear those glories with complete attention. Hanuman chant the following mantras. Are you ready? He described the Rupa, the form of the Lord. The Lord, whose pure form, Satchitananda Vigraha. Satchitananda means that is a form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Is uncontaminated by the modes of material nature. Can be perceived by pure consciousness. In the Vedanta, he is described as being one without a second because of his spiritual potency. He is untouched by the contaminations of the material nature. So when he descends, he is not touched by material nature like us. He is not influenced by that. He is transcendental, perfect, perfectly pure. And because he's not subjected, and because he is not subjected to material vision, he is known as transcendental. He has no material activities, nor he has material form or name. Only in pure consciousness, Krishna consciousness, can one perceive the transcendental form of the Lord. Let us be firmly fixed at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra, and let us offer our respectful obeisances unto those transcendental lotus feet. Lord Ramachandra's form is so beautiful. His hue is described like, sometimes it's described as the color of a grass like a morning grass. And when you go sometimes into the field in the morning and you see with the shine of the morning sun this beautiful color of the grass that is greenish, but it's dark greenish and is very effulgent. So the Lord hue is described like that. And he is very attractive in his form. He's very, very beautiful. So he is adored by the devotees meditating in his form. We're flying through because I was told that actually I may run a little late. Guna, and we're going to spend some little time on his guna because it's his character. I mean, we can spend days and days talking about the qualities of the Lord. He is described in descriptions as Maryada Purushottam, that he is the highest ideal of humankind. That's what he's giving us, the highest ideal of a person, the perfect qualities and character. Hanuman said, I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, who is the best among the most highly elevated personalities. Your lordship is the reservoir of all good qualities of Aryans, people who are advanced. Your character and behavior are always consistent, and you always control your senses and mind, acting just like an ordinary human being. You exhibit exemplary character to teach others how to behave. There is a touchstone that can be used to examine the quality of gold, but you are like a touchstone that can verify all qualities. You are worshipped by Brahmanas who are the foremost of all devotees. You are the supreme person, the king of kings, and therefore I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Lord Ramachandra's character is glorified, is so endearing. He is very liberal and always ready to sacrifice his personal interest for those who are devoted to him. And we see through his character, through his pastimes, the fact is like um, he is regardless, and Hanuman will explain that, regardless of persons and their situation, he always accepts and embraces very, very dearly. Since Lord Ramachandra is the supreme personality of Godhead, Vasudev, he is not attached to anything in this material world. He is the most beloved super soul of all self-realized soul, and he is their very intimate friend. He's full of all opulence. Therefore, he could not, and listen to this is very important. I wish we had more time to talk about it because it's an issue that presently you can be facing when, as a Vaishnava, you have to sometime face some questions that modern uh, duskritinas or unpious persons they raise. He could not possibly have suffered because of separation from his wife, nor could he have given up his wife and Lakshman, his younger brother. To give up either would have been absolutely impossible. Lord Ramachandra is criticized by persons with poor form of knowledge that he gave up Sita. You're familiar with that. How many of you are familiar with that criticism? It is very hard, especially in modern days. In times of the Victorian times, where it was, the during the British occupation of India, the British Empire, Lord Ramachandra was considered very popular because he was, always strict on his vow. He only had one wife and all that. And Krishna was criticized, highly criticized, because Krishna have many girlfriends and all that type of things. Hmm? Now, in modern times, the whole thing turns around. Lord Ramachandra is criticized because he sent Sita away. So he abandoned his wife because of some, external difficulty. So that we don't like. It doesn't play good in the present concerns that are in modern days, especially with trends that focus on equality, on racism and feminism, all these type of things. Hmm? So that doesn't play good. So he been criticized. But the fact is that no, Lord Ramachandra, the situation in which he took those choices were highly, highly moral and with a great deal of ideals. So we can not discuss that right now, but it's something that you can search on yourself and become familiar because the character of the Lord is impeccable, is perfect. Um, the fact is that he didn't abandon Sita. He placed Sita Devi in the care of Valmiki Muni. So it's a different thing. So there's more to talk about it. I'm running through this. Um, sorry, Prabhu. It's all right? Yeah, um, I read all this very quickly. I'm sorry, everybody. I wish we have more time. I get, I got really enthusiastic about it. So I'm going to read these ones and then we move to the next part of the program. Is that okay? Will you forgive me for this? Thank you. So Hanuman say, one cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of material qualities, such as one birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence, or one's superior race or nation. None of these qualifications is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Sri Ramachandra. Mindful. Hanuman is talking to this in his own personal experience. He's a monkey. And Lord Ramachandra took him and embraced it as his best friend. Regardless of, Ramachandra is a king from the great dynasty of the sun. And here's a monkey, an inhabitant of the jungle. And he embraced him. Otherwise, how is it possible that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forest have not taken noble birth, although we have no physical beauty, monkeys, and also we cannot speak like a gentleman, Lord Ramachandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends. Therefore, whatever one is a demigod of a demon, man, or creature other than man, such as a beast of a bird, which one's the bird that Lord Ramachandra embraced? Jatayu. Everyone should worship Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared on this earth just like a human being. There is no need of great austerities or penances to worship the Lord, for he accepts even a small service offered by his devotee. You see, in these pictures, there's Sabari and there's the squirrel. You all know the story of the squirrel. And Lord Ramachandra accepts that service very gracefully. Indeed, Lord Ramachandra brought all the devotees to Ayodhya back home, back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha. You can tell the story of Shabari and the squirrel, and it's so beautiful. And this is a very important promise that the Lord gives to each one of us. He said, it is my vow that I will give permanent fearlessness to anyone who surrenders unto me and prays, "Oh, Ram, I am yours." This is a promise that he gave to Vibhishan, the brother of Ravana, one of the Rakshasa race that came and surrendered to him. All the monkey warriors, there was, minus Hanuman, but everybody, Sugriva, they were saying, no, 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 what is this demon? He has something, fishy behind this whole thing. But not Lord Ramachandra accepted. And of course, we know the Leela, and this is the last one. I was ordained, it was ordained that Ravana, chief of the Rakshasas, could not be killed by anyone but a man. And for this reason, Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared in the form of a human being. Lord Ramachandra's mission, however, was not only to kill Ravana, but also to teach mortal beings that material happiness center around sex life or center around one's wife or husband in this case, uh, is the cause of many miseries. He is the self sufficient, supreme personality of Godhead, and nothing is lamentable for him. Therefore, what else? Why else could he subjected to tribulations by the kidnapping of Mother Sita? So remember Hanuman speaking, and of course Hanuman is a Naistika brahmachari. So he's a brahmachari. So he doesn't have a lot of sympathy for the tribulations that we grihastas or married people have to go through. But you're all smiling, so you know what I'm talking about. And you know what he's talking about. So happy Ramnami, everybody. Thank you so much.
Hey Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Wonderful. We have a short presentation on the 50th anniversary of Sri Sri Kishore Kishori Temple. So I think Leela Manjari Mataji will talk about it for a few minutes and then we'll have Prasad.
Hi Krishna. Happy RamaNavami to everybody. So we'll get started. So who remembers when we'll have the installation anniversary celebration? June, yes. Does anybody remember the dates? 15th through the 18th. Very good. Yes. So today I'm going to share with you the schedule so that you can block your time when I know Thursday and Friday are working days for most of you. So I'll share the schedule so that you can block your time, ideally like take days off so you can be here the whole time and enjoy the program. And um, I'll also share with you like more services. Today I don't have all the details, but the whole idea of the program is to be able to serve the devotees. And we'll have like many services. And actually, Anuttama Prabhu said something very, very nice, which I'll share with you. He said that, to accommodate a devotee, it takes only 6 feet by 6 feet. They just need a small room. And then to feed a devotee, it takes very little, just one hot chapati. But he said when you're organizing the program, make sure that the devotees are very well taken care of. The chapatis should be hot and the space that they're staying is very nice. So this is our program, and we are inviting all those devotees who have served over the course of the years into our temple again. So we want to make it as comfortable and sweet as possible for them. So we'll have many services like cooking for the devotees and taking care of the devotees and making sure the kitchen is clean and all those things. So very soon, we'll start sharing all those details so you can volunteer and participate in whichever ways you like. Yeah. And we have a few confirmed guests, which I feel will make you excited. We'll have Chandramauli Maharaj. We'll have Romapad Maharaj, and we'll have Malati Prabhu. She'll be here, and we'll have Madhav Prabhu. So he's going to lead us in very, very sweet kirtans for the pleasure of the deities. So we had also invited several other devotees who were actively serving Kishore Kishori at some point of time. Like Shivram Maharaj, he was actively serving Kishore Kishori, late 70s. Vaisheshika Prabhu was a big part of distributing books at O'Hare Airport. Unfortunately, he has a BBT meeting at the same time, so he's unable to come. Then Aindra Prabhu used to serve the deities, and I'm sure he'll be here in spirit. And we also invited Shivra Maharaj, Vaisheshika Prabhu, Guru Prasad Swami, Badrinarayan Maharaj, and like there are so many devotees. This temple has a very rich history. So many devotees came through this temple. So this is a very special place, and it will be our opportunity to serve them. So we'll get started with Prabhupada's video, and then I'll share more. This is Srila Prabhupada at the Evanston Temple, and you'll see Prabhupada in front of Kishore Kishori.
It's not loud. Um, which for the time I think was, and that was quite gorgeous. Srila Prabhupada said, only there's a special darshan this afternoon. Is when we had first started the work, and we were tell Prabhupada about the success, but we were mostly wanting to hear from Prabhupada. Getting academics to take the books. So we came in with pens and paper, lots of instructions from Prabhupada. And we shared what we had done so far, asked for guidance, and Srila Prabhupada just simply said, you do your best, and Krishna will help you. And the person was stunned, they're waiting for him to say more. And then he realized, oh, this is a message. The Prabhupada letting us know, he wants you to do things. The gist of what the video is saying is that Prabhupada says to the devotees in the Chicago temple that was at the he called it the Black YMCA because it was still segregated at this time or something like that. And that he said, Prabhupada says, just do your best and Krishna will help us. And he said that he thought that Prabhupada would say something else, but instead Prabhupada left it at that, and that's when he realized the glory of that message. Haribol.
Thank you, Danavan Prabhu. So we'll also look at the schedule for the 4 days so you can plan, and it's shared in the same folder. Okay, so we'll have different themes for different days. So we begin on Thursday, and the theme for that day would be pastimes of Srila Prabhupada in Chicago. And we'll have Mangalarti Japa, Guru Puja, Shringararti, and then we'll have Bhagavatam class. And then from 10 to 1, we'll have like a discussion with all the devotees, the past devotees meeting the future devotees in one sense. all of us. And we'll have a discussion about pastimes of Srila Prabhupada between 10 and 1. Lunch, rest, kirtan, and Madhav Prabhu will be here, so please don't miss out on the kirtans. And again, from 7:15 to 8, we'll have the same theme, pastimes of Srila Prabhupada in Chicago. And we have a very rich history of book distribution at the O'Hare Airport. So the second day will be similar. Between 10 and 1, we'll have discussion with devotees about pastimes of book distribution. And then again in the evening, between 7 and 8, we'll have discussions. So 17th is actually the main day. You don't want to miss this at any cost. It's a Saturday, fortunately. And so we'll have Bhagavatam class in the morning. Every day we'll have Bhagavatam class. This on Saturday also. And between 10 and 1, like we'll have worship of Shri Kishore Kishori with several other devotees. And then in the evening, we'll have the main festival. So we'll have Pushpabhishek of the deities, and Malati Prabhu will be speaking about how she brought the deities of Kishore Kishori from Jaipur. And then Sunday, it's also a big day. It's about moving forward because we are here because of all the devotees, whatever they did for the past 50 years. And what can we do so that this movement can keep moving forward for the next 50 years? So we'll have Bhagavatam class, and in the evening from 5:30, we'll have, before 5:30, we'll have Gaur Aarti, Kirtan, and then we'll have appreciation of the devotees, sponsors, and other special guests. So Krishna willing, like we'll have, like we are even hoping to have the governor and the mayor coming in so that we can fully celebrate the importance of this milestone for our temple. So we'll see what Krishna has in mind. Like, so this is the crux of this, so that all of you can plan. I would really love that all of you are here. It's very, very, very important. Each of you are very special and very dear to Kishore Kishori, and your presence will make a huge difference. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So we'll have prasadam at the third floor. So we're already at 7:50. So yeah, please make your way up as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Like, get used to it. You were doing it right. What do you mean you just went down? How much time do you have? How much time do you have? Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you know 7 beat for some reason. She's eating somewhere. So you know, how do you know 7 beat?